Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing good. Okay, so first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Madhu Arya and I'm based at Chandigarh. I'm working as PTT Commerce from last 13 years teaching accountancy and business studies to class 11th and 12th. Talking about my qualification, I'm MCOM, B.Ed, UGC NET qualified. In this virtual scenario, I have also started giving online classes for class 11th and 12th for both the subjects. For any query, you can contact through my email ID given in the description box below. Now, I thought of introducing myself on YouTube as well. I'm gonna start with 12th class business studies, which will be covering whole of your NCERT book, and I'll be putting mind-boggling case studies as well. And I'm sure you guys will definitely like my content. So please do share, like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button so that you stay connected to me. So let's get started with the first chapter, Nature and Significance of Management.
So let's start with the marks distribution of class 12th business studies. The subject carries 100 marks. Part 1, Principles and Functions of Management, it carries 50 marks. Part 2, Business, Finance and Marketing, it is of 30 marks. Then project work carries 20 marks. So my first chapter is Nature and Significance of Management, and the topics which I am going to cover in this PPT are concept of management, definition of management, management terms, effectiveness versus efficiency, case study, and brainstorming. It will be including some questions. Those will be answered by you. So let's start with the concept of management. As I already told you, your first part consists of 50 marks and it is totally based on management. To get good marks in your part 1 book, you need to understand the meaning of management properly. So to understand concept of management, it is very important to understand what is management. So you read with me. Management is an activity which is necessary wherever there is a group of people working in an organization. Management is an activity. Activity means it is not a by chance function, means it is not an automatic function. It has to be done. Somebody has to perform this activity which is necessary wherever there is a group of people working in an organization. It means any organization. Think about any organization where there are a group of people working together. You can think about your school, about a hospital, petrol pump, cinema hall, a mall, simply any organization wherever you can see a group of people working together. Management is required there. So, what is management? Management means if you can see if an organization is running without any chaos, without any problem, and the working in the organization is going on very smoothly. Day to day working is very smooth. For example, you can think about your school. School is an organization because a lot of number of people are working together. Principals, sir, so many teachers are there, peons, maids, and lot of children. They all are working together. Okay? But from morning till afternoon, everything is going on very smoothly. From morning prayer to your last period, even recess, everything is going on very smoothly without any chaos, without any disturbance. Moreover, if any of your teacher is on leave, even then substitution teacher comes and takes the class. It means no disturbance, no chaos. So you can say that your school is properly managed. I hope you understand what management is. So it is not an automatic function. It has to be done. It is an activity which is performed by person or group of person, and the person who perform this activity is called a manager. A manager has to perform all such activities so that any organization in which a number of people are working together, that work smoothly without any chaos, without any problem. This is management. Now come here. People in organization are performing diverse tasks. Diverse means different tasks. It means you talk about any organization, all there are so many persons working together. They are working together, but it doesn't mean that they are doing the same job. All of them are performing different kind of tasks. For example, I'm taking the example of your school in my PPT only because you are well acquainted with the atmosphere in the school, so you can better understand what is happening in the school and how it is related to management. So uh, look about your school only. There are so many teachers. English staff is there, math staff is there, science staff is there, principal sir is there, maids are there, peons are there, administrative block is there. Each and everybody is working for one organization. That organization is your school. But all of the person, including you children are going to take to study there. Everybody having different tasks to do. Everybody having different tasks to do. English ma'am teaches English, maths ma'am teaches maths, and principal sir has to supervise all the activities. So everybody task is different, diverse, but they are all working towards the same goal. But the goal of any organization is always the same. They all are directed towards the same goal. Means each and everybody in the school, they are working. Why they are working? They are working together so that they can teach the students, and the student score good, best marks in their exams. So their goal is simple. The goal is same. The goal of all the people working together in the same organization is same. But what management does? Look here. Management aims at guiding their efforts towards achieving common objective, a goal. Means what is the main function of management there? Management has to oversee, management has to make policies, management has to unite the action of all the people working in that organization. Okay, the goal is same, the objective is common, but so many people are working diverse tasks. Their tasks are not same. So there should be some power, there should be some force that binds, that unites their actions together, so that the organization runs in a coordinated way, without any chaos, without any confusion. Each and everybody is performing his or her task properly, without any confusion, and ultimately organizational goals are achieved. This is what management does. So finally I will conclude, management is an activity. It has to be done. It is not an automatic function. It has to be done wherever there are group of persons working together towards the same goal, towards the same objective, and they are performing diverse tasks. Now, coming to my next slide, definition of management. As a layman, the definition of management is: management has been defined as a process of getting things done with the aim of achieving goals effectively and efficiently. So, read it along with me. Management has been defined as a process. means it is not a single function. Management is a series of action. Number of functions need to be performed by the manager. It's not a single activity, it is a process of getting things done. Getting things done means a manager doesn't do all the task himself, but he need to get the things done from the other people working in his or her organization with the aim of achieving goals. And why management is required? Because their objective is to achieve certain goals. Every organization runs for achieving certain goals. Otherwise, why do we run an organization? Somebody has profit maximization objectives, some are non-profit organization. Each and every organization runs for some purpose, some goal. So management is a process of getting things done with the aim of achieving goals. Means organization has to achieve some goals, but these goals should be achieved effectively and efficiently. It means there are three highlighted words in the definition of management. These three highlighted words are process, effectively, and efficiently. So, there are three basic terms of management. Number one, management is a process. The goal should be achieved with effectiveness and the goal should be achieved with efficiency. Now you will ask me, how is it a process? What is meant by effectiveness and what is efficiency? Have patience. In my next slide, I am going to explain all these three terms to you. Come to my next slide. Yes, here you can see management terms. So there are three basic management terms. First is process. Second, the goals should be achieved effectively. And third is the goal should be achieved efficiently. Now the first term comes कि management is a process. So management is a process means to do management activities. I told you earlier, management is not a single activity. It is a series of action to be done by the manager. And these are also called the functions of management. In the process, you can say that in the process, number one, there is planning, then organizing, then staffing, then directing, and then controlling. This is called the process of management. Along with process, the other name is, it is also known as functions of management. Means a manager has to perform all these 5 functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Your first part book, which is of 50 marks, that contains 8 chapters in total. And out of those, 5 chapters are totally 100% dedicated to these 5 functions of management. It means in detail, you will understand what is planning, what is organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling when you will go through those chapters. But here I will tell you in brief what is planning, what is organizing, what is staffing, directing, and controlling. So these are called 5 functions of management. Remember, these are 5 functions of management. A manager has to perform all these 5 functions, starting with planning. Planning means thinking in advance what is to be done in the future. Who will do it? How we will do it? Okay, means there are some organization goals. We have to plan what we have to do in future, how we will do it, who will do it. Each and every aspect of our objective has to be decided in advance. That is called planning. For example, I am again taking the example of a school. Suppose I am running a school that is up to 10th standard. Now I want to upgrade my school. I want to extend my school till grade 12th. Now, first of all, I will have to plan whether the class 11th and 12th will start with all the 3 streams, or in the beginning I'll start with arts and commerce only. So this is the first aspect of my planning. Okay, after that I'll plan how many new staff members will be required, whether more land will be required or the structure can be created on the already created building. So these are all planning concept. Next come to organizing. Organizing means you have to organize all the manpower, all the material, all the resources to fulfill that plan. For example, in the planning, you have decided to start with arts and commerce. So you need to build some more classes. Okay, you will construct new classes. This is a part of organization. Then you will be requiring new staff. What will be the responsibilities of those staff people? What will be their job opportunities, how their jobs will be related to each other, how their authority responsibility relationship will be created. All these things are happen during organization function. A manager has to organize all these things. Now come to staffing. In organization, you have just made a setup of classes and you have decided how many more staff people will be required. In staffing process, you have to recruit, select and train those people also. Means if you are requiring some teachers for arts and commerce section, then these teachers will be recruited and then selected, and then they will be oriented or they will be trained, they will be guided how to perform their activities. Now come to directing sections. Okay, you have selected the teachers, you have selected the extra staff. Now how will they perform their functions? You need to direct them, you need to guide them, you need to supervise them as they are new to your organization. Okay, they are new to your organization. You need to direct them, you need to supervise them so that they can do their job accurately. Now comes to controlling. Controlling is directly related to the first function of management, that is planning. Suppose while planning for class 11th and 12th upgradation, we have decided one organizational goals. Our goal was in 12th class CBSE exams, we want 100% results of these students. Now, controlling is directly related to planning. Controlling means you have to check whether you have achieved your organizational goals or not. Means if you have planned for 100% result, 100% success, and at the end of the year you have to compare your actual performance with the planned performance, and if there are some deviations, you need to check them, you need to control them, you have to make better plans again so that in the coming year you can achieve your organizational goals. This is what controlling is. Means controlling is directly related to what we have planned, and we have to compare our planned goals with our achieved goals. I hope management as a process is clear to you guys. I am again repeating, management is a process, means it is having 5 major functions to perform: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Now come to the next term of management, which you have seen in the management definition. The organizational goals should be achieved effectively. Now what is the meaning of effectively? Effectively means finishing the given task at right time. Yes, being effective means you are performing your duties within the due time given to you, the time allotted to you. You are not exceeding your time limit. You are achieving your organizational goals, but if you are exceeding the time limit given to you, then you are not effective. So management has to see that the goals should be achieved effectively within the due time period. And doing the right task means you are taking care of time. But if you are not taking care of task, you are not doing right task, then you are not effective. Achieving goals. Third point is achieving goals. Means the goals given to you, the goals given by organization should be achieved. The task should be right, but should be completed within the right time. If you are exceeding the time given to you, even if it is a right task or even if you have achieved goals but you are not at all effective. I hope you understand. Effective is totally concerned with completing the task at the right time. Now come to the third term, that is efficiently. Doing task correctly. This is first and foremost condition. You have to do the task correctly. Then being efficient means with the minimum cost. You already know every organization run for some purpose, some goal, and most of the time main purpose of every organization is to maximize profits. To maximize profits, you have to minimize your cost. Only then you can maximize your profits. If your cost exceeds the limits, then you are not at all efficient. The work should be done correctly. The task should be correct, but at minimum cost. It means to run any organization, you need to employ people, you need money, you are using other resources as well. These resources should be at the minimum cost. You should not increase the cost of the production unnecessarily. If the cost is getting increased, it's a not efficient working. Third point, sorry. Third point is cost benefit analysis. It is just related to the cost. Means in any organization, when you are working for an organization, there are always some costs incurred and there are always some benefits. You are getting some benefits for the cost incurred by you people. So there should be proper analysis of cost and benefit. If your cost is exceeding the benefits you are getting, then you are not efficient. You will be efficient only when your benefits are increasing. Benefits are over your costs. I hope you are getting my point. Point number 4, relate input and output. What is input? Input means all the man, material and all the resources you have used. All the resources, including money, you have used for the production process. And output is the maximum, the profit you have earned after selling that product in the market. So you have to relate the input and output, the resources you have used and the benefits you have get from using those resources. So it is crystal clear that your benefits, your output should be and has to be more than your inputs or your resources. So in nutshell, I will like to say it again. Being efficient means you have to complete your task with minimum and minimum cost. Do not be extravagant while performing your work or while attaining organizational goals. Here is a picture which clearly states that there should be a balance between effectiveness and efficiency. I told you effectiveness is related to completion of work within due time, and being efficient means cost consideration, means you have to consider the cost incurred to achieve those organizational goals. So there should be a balance between both of them. If you are more effective and less efficient, or vice versa, you are more efficient but less effective, that is of no use. At last, you will end up with gaining nothing. So there should be a proper balance between effectiveness and efficiency. I can make you understand effectiveness and efficiency in my next slide by taking a case study on the same aspect. Coming to my next slide. Yes, here is one case study given related to efficiency and effectiveness. And I hope after going through this case study, you will be 100% sure about what is efficiency and what is effectiveness and why there a balance is required in effectiveness and efficiency. So read it along with me. There was a goal to produce 5,000 units of pencils at the rate of rupee 1 per pencil in 30 days. I am repeating the units, 5,000 units of pencils. Cost incurred should be rupee 1 per pencil and the time given is 30 days. There were two companies, Company A and Company B, assigned for this task. You have to answer me which company is more effective and which company is more efficient. Now come to Company A. When talking about the cost incurred, Company A produced 5,000 units at the rate of rupee 1 per unit. It means Company A has achieved its goal of producing 5,000 units at rupee 1 per unit. Okay, coming to Company B. Company B produced 5,000 units at the rate of rupee 1.10 per unit, means 1 rupee 10 paisa per unit. Now you can clearly see that Company B has increased the cost. The cost asked was to produce at the rate of rupee 1, but Company B produced at the rate of 1.10 per unit. It clearly states that Company A is more efficient and Company B is less efficient because cost consideration is better in Company A. Next, coming to my second point, time taken. On the basis of time taken, if we see, then Company A produced 5,000 units in 40 days. Here in the question, it was given they have to produce in 30 days. But Company A has produced 5,000 units in 40 days. Whereas Company B has produced 5,000 units in 30 days. Now coming to the time constraint. What will you say? The time taken by B company was accurate as compared to time taken by Company A. It means Company B is more effective and Company A is less effective. Now, if we talk about Company A and Company B, come to Company A first. Although Company A is more efficient, it means it has produced the 5,000 units at rupee 1 per unit. Okay, it is efficient, but it has taken 40 days. Rather, it has been given 30 days to produce 5,000 units. It is less effective. So what will be the consequence? The consequence will be that as the Company A has taken 10 more days, it means the produced articles will go to the market after 10 days. It means there is a during the time period of these 10 days, other companies may supply their product in the market, and when Company A's product will reach in the market, the demand has been decreased, so the Company A will be at loss because it has taken 10 more days. Company A will get delay by 10 days and other companies may enter in the market and they will sell their product and demand will be decreased. So Company A will be at loss. Company A will not be able to sell all his articles in the market. You understand my point? And when talking about Company B has produced the goods in 30 days. Okay, the produced goods will be reached to the market after 30 days. But the company has produced it at a higher cost. So what will happen to Company B? Though its products will enter in the market, but either the Company B have to increase the selling price of its product, then demand will automatically decrease, or if it doesn't increase the selling price, then its profits will be decreased. You are getting my point? Because cost incurred is 1 rupee 10 paisa per unit. If you multiply it by 5,000 unit, it will be a huge amount. So company will be not earning that much profit which the company should have been or the company have been asked to. So I am telling you in my previous PPT, I have shown you, previous slide, sorry, I have shown you that there should be a parity, there should be a balance between effectiveness and efficiency. You cannot ignore one aspect over other aspect. Company A and company B both are at loss. They are not achieving their organizational goals efficiently and effectively. There should be a balance between them. Okay. So finally, I am concluding the definition of management. Management is a process to achieve the organizational goals. Okay. And it has to be done effectively and efficiently. Yes, now coming to my last slide, this is brainstorming. Brainstorming means this is all what I have to teach you in my PPT, in this PPT. Now you have to read these questions along with me. Question number 1, successful organizations do not achieve their goals by chance, but by following a process. Name the process. Okay. Second question is, production manager tries to produce goods with minimum cost. Name the concept which is being focused on by management. And the last question is, management is a process. How? So dear students, you need to answer these questions, and all these questions are lies in my PPT which I have already which I have already make you understand. If you have gone through my PPT properly, you will be 100% able to give the answer of these 3 questions. These are the questions which I have given you as a homework, and I'll take these questions and I will ask you guys to give answers of these questions during my next PPT, during my next video, and you can give the answers in the comment section as well. I hope you all liked the way I have taught you, and I will really appreciate if you stay connected to me. Thank you very much.
Okay guys, that's all for my today's video. Meet you again in my next video with some new content. Till then, take care and bye bye.